Okay, I'm back. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you have all of your stuff ready so that you can get out of Dodge, you want to make it light enough that you can get out of town, and you want to know your evacuation route. Now, you're not going to want to go down and get on, Interstate 80 and try and get out of Denver. I mean, it just don't make no sense. You're going to want to find the back roads, and you're going to want to get out of town as fast as you possibly can. Now, I just say Interstate 80 in Denver and everything just because I happen to think, that Interstate 80 goes through Denver. I was a truck driver before, so I know that. All right, well, that don't make no difference. What I'm trying to tell you is, if you go on back roads and you're trying to get out of town, you're going to run into less traffic on those back roads than you are going to run into on highways. Highways are limited. They're constrictive. They've tunneled it. And if they block that highway, you can't go anywhere. So if you can get out of town and you already have your evacuation thought out and planned, you can get out of town and you can be out of town faster, and it'll be a whole lot easier on you and your family. Now, excuse me, I'm getting a little bit of a cold or something. I'm not feeling real good. Kind of crud. But rebuke it in Jesus' name. Just go on, because I know God is going to protect me. He's going to provide for me. He's going to keep me safe. Amen. I'm saying that. Okay. Now, another thing I'd want you to think about is, where can you go? I mean, where are your kids going to be? If this happens in the daytime, your kid's going to be in school. So you're going to want to get your kids out of school. Okay? You need to be thinking about this, right now, because all of a sudden cars aren't going to work. Now, military are. Military cars have been hardened. They have electronic protection devices around, key components that on that vehicle that make that vehicle function even if there is a nuclear attack. Okay, most of them. Now, your police cars and your radios and your personal cars and a lot of that stuff, that ain't going to work. Airplanes are going to be falling out of the sky anywhere around your immediate area. They're just going to cease to function. Because, a lot of airplanes, they have electronic controls in the pilot's, joysticks or control sticks in the front. And those go back to the wings and the ailerons and everything. And it tells them, how much pitch to put on that trailing edge of that wing and everything to make that airplane fly. Well, these big airlines, that's all microcircuitry, and a lot of it is maybe that maybe they've gotten away from some of that stuff, but some of it they've even gotten to where they're using fiber optics. But the thing about it is, airplanes are not going to stay in the air. Navigation is out. Your cell phones are out. Your GPSs are out. So you better have a map, and you better know the roads to get out of Dodge. Okay? Next thing, you're going to want to make sure that, if it's wintertime, it's going to be cold out there. Okay, so you're going to want your sleeping bags. You're going to want extra blankets. You're going to want your pillows. And pillows are cheap. You can go to Walmart and buy them, all day long for a couple bucks a piece, $5 a piece maybe. Okay, I suggest you look at something else and try and find a product like, they come in bags, of freeze-dried food, go to, if you can get it, man, get military MREs, meals ready to eat. Get some sort of food that's dehydrated. Buy a dehydrator right now and start dehydrating apples. Go to Home Depot and buy 5-gallon buckets with snap-down lids on it, that are clean and wiped out and everything like that. Just wash them with soap and water before you use them. And then put your beans and your rice in that, and then you put your snap-down lid on it. That's going to keep moisture from getting in there. And if you can get a hold of it, some like little desiccant packages or something to put in there to keep everything dry and draw out any moisture and everything, that's going to make your food last a lot longer too. Dehydrate apples, peaches, bananas, stuff like that. Get powdered milk. I know I don't like powdered milk, but my kids are going to have to drink powdered milk. My wife is probably going to need powdered milk. I'm going to need diapers for my baby, okay? Or, I'm going to have to tear up my undershirts, to make a diaper for my baby, okay? that's just going to be something that's going to happen. I mean, just think about it. So, I mean, if you can afford to go out and buy, boxes of powdered milk, boxes of mashed potatoes, boxes of diapers, little wipies, for diaper cleaning and stuff like that for babies and everything. Now this is important because it's going to be something that you're going to want to use to have in your bug out bag and everything, and your stuff right there ready to go. And you're going to want to throw that in the back of your diesel pickup or your old points and plugs type of vehicle and get the heck out of Dodge. Now, look, I'm not no brain scientist here or nothing like that. I use this to cover up some stuff on my shirt because I don't think, some people are going to find out who I am, and I don't care. But I'm going to make it as hard as I can on them before they find out. Now, it's just me. All right? And I don't want to cause any shame to anybody that I've ever worked for, so, I just keep that stuff covered up. But anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is, not that I'm shameful, but whatever. Anyway, I don't have all the ins and outs on it, but I'm just trying to tell you what makes sense to me. Now, just like the End Time Watchman says, and this man is, I just have so much respect for him, but basically, the best laid plans can fall completely apart. And before, I'm giving you this recommendation, because regardless of whether you're a believer or not a believer, and your personal beliefs and everything like that, that's up to you. But I'm giving you this information because I think that it's pertinent, that it's something that you're going to want to know. It's going to be something that's going to be important to you. And another thing is, if you're a believer in the Lord, or you have an inclination or a desire to get right with God, I'd do it. I really would. And I'm not saying that arrogantly. I'm just saying I would get right with God, because the situation is coming up, and it don't matter if you have all your guns and your weapons and stuff like that. They'll take your guns away from you. If they throw up a roadblock or something like that, they will take your guns away from you. Now, if I had a vehicle that I could keep stashed in the backyard and just kind of fix it up and make it work and everything like that, I would get a diesel vehicle, probably something that's a little older, because I got a 2-ton International truck, a flatbed on it and everything, a little sleeper on the back of it, and I can store everything in that sleeper, food and clothing and everything like that, and keep that locked up. And the moment it comes up, I can jump in that truck, hit that starter, and I'm down the road motors. And you just want to get out of town as soon as you can. And, a diesel engine is going to run, and it doesn't have no electronic ignition on it. It's old. It ain't even got a turbocharger on it. But it's something that it'll probably get you down the road and get you to the mountains, or get you someplace, a little further away from town than another vehicle will. Because if you come into consideration that all of these minivans, moms, and your cars and your brand new Ford diesel pickup truck, or your Cummins turbo Dodge, or your Chevrolet with the Duramax and everything, they all got computers on them. Computers ain't going to work. They're just going to fry. So you can go out there and you can crank, and that truck ain't going to ride. It ain't going to start up. It just ain't going to get. It ain't going to get right. It's going to die. It's just not going to work. So you can't force it to start, because it has an electronic signal that goes to that injector and tells that injector, inject fuel. And if that thing doesn't open that port for that injector to discharge that diesel fuel, it ain't going to start. So that means you're going to have a vehicle that's worthless, that's worth nothing. Now you can go on eBay and eBay Motors and check around and everything, and you can find some vehicles that are pretty cheap, and I think that'd be the best for you. I'll be right back.